Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW. And thanks to those of you joining us live from our CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and our top story tonight is some tragic news out of ECISD. A boy at Lamar Early Education Center died yesterday. According to a news release, the child suffered from a medical emergency during the school day, and he was taken to the hospital where he later died. The ECISD superintendent released a statement saying, in part, quote, "We are devastated. The loss of a child creates unimaginable pain," end quote. There will be a counselor at the school for the foreseeable future to help any students or staff in need of support. In some traffic news for you, between 2018 and 2022, 87 people died on the City of Midland's roads. That's something that Vision Zero, a policy adopted this morning by the Midland City Council, aims to change. Adopting Vision Zero helps the city qualify for grants and solidify a commitment to traffic safety. A task force created in Midland has studied the intersections and roads with the most crashes using data, and will use that information to create a, quote, safety action plan that'll be presented on April 23rd.
So this policy sets forward an action that allows us to move forward with what we call a safety action plan. And this safety action plan outlines different initiatives that the city needs to take to make safer roadways.
The grant money for safe streets will go towards projects like signal timing, crosswalks, and speed change signs. The goal is for Midland to have 0 traffic deaths by 2050. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teller. Tom, we stayed here inside, but the rest of our team was out at the Rockhounds game today, and it was a little bit chilly.
Yeah, one of the colder opening days for the Rockhounds in quite a while out there, as temperatures only topped out into the lower 50s. Now, we were talking showers, thunderstorms a little bit earlier. Not too much materialized. Had a little thunder shower move through the Fort Stockton area with some pea-sized hail around 6:15 this evening. That died out rather quickly. We do have another little area of showers here across portions of northern Lee County. And we may see some of that towards the morning hours. Again, this is Fort Stockton where the rain has ended. Temperatures right now into the lower 50s out there. So things are starting to cool off quite a bit across the area. Upper 40s up towards Andrews. And those winds are still out of the north, making it feel rather chilly. Up to 22 miles an hour sustained out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport. So cold temperatures tonight, really, as we're going to see them settle into the lower 40s by the early morning hours, with some clearing coming up for tomorrow, and warmer weather is on the way. More on that coming up here as we take a look at the weekend in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Tom. And despite those chilly temperatures, today we celebrated the Midland Rockhounds home opener with live team coverage from the game. And I know quite a few members of the CBS7 team got to enjoy some hot dogs, cotton candy, pretzels, and all the great things that baseball has to offer. All of these things are made possible by a team of staff members who are there to make sure that you have the best Rockhounds experience that's possible. Behind the scenes, preparations start long before opening day. The work that goes into each off-season involves upgrades to the stadium, sponsorships, and concessions.
There's just so much stuff that goes into, acquiring the product, figuring out who you're going to get the product from, everything that goes along with pricing and costing. And then once you have all that stuff in place, then you've got to get your orders in place, make sure that you're receiving the product, and get everything set up on the back end.
If you plan on coming out to any games this season, be sure to remember all the work that goes into making sure that you have a great time at the ball game. And with the new season comes a new name to the Rockhounds organization. Previously, the Rockhounds have used the alter ego, the Matamoscas de Medessa. Now the team has adopted a new identity for Latin Heritage Nights, the Amigos. The Copa de la Diversion identity is to expand the outreach of baseball to the Hispanic community. So when the leaders of the Rockhounds found out that no other minor league teams were using the word amigo as their Copa identity, they decided to make the switch. The idea behind the change is to send a message. Whenever anyone comes to a Rockhounds game, they're in a friendly environment.
So it's been really positive. We've been shipping hats all over the country. I think we've had orders from as far away as Maine in the domestic United States. The logo's being very well received.
The Midland Rockhounds will play as the Midland Amigos for 6 nights this season. And the Hounds also have a new general manager Her name is Shelly Henge, and while this role is new, she's no stranger to the Rockhounds community. She was born and raised in Montana and grew up in the middle of 5 brothers. She's always been surrounded by baseball and left Montana to pursue a career in marketing and advertising in California. After a few years, she ended up in South Texas running an agency and doing a lot of contract work for baseball teams. In 2005, she made the move to the Tall City.
I was always a big Rockhounds fan. I would spend, raising 2 young boys at the time, a lot of hours at the ballpark with the Rockhounds, old ballpark and this new one, and have just always loved baseball.
Henge is the first female general manager in Rockhounds history. And like we said, it's the home opener, so the Rockhounds have played 3-game series away, and they're now undefeated. CBS7 sports anchor Jensen Young brings us a preview of what the team will look like in 2024. Jensen?
Opening day, who doesn't love it?
Yeah, just really excited for it. It's good to be back, and a lot of familiar faces in the team and some new ones, and I think we get a great group.
The Midland Rockhounds started the season with 3 games in Corpus Christi, and that sees the team enter the home opener with a perfect 3-0 record. Of course, every game starts with the first pitch. The Rockhounds pitching staff has some key players returning from last season. In fact, all but one pitcher on the opening day roster pitched for the Rockhounds in some capacity in 2023.
We're looking good. We got a lot of good guys out there that throw hard, have some good stuff. So, looking for a good outing from our pitchers and score some runs, and we should win a good amount of games.
And to score some runs, you need good bats. Catcher Daniel Suzak believes the entire lineup is ready to get across home plate.
I think 1 through 9 at any point could hit a homer, could get that single through the right side, which I think is an exciting lineup to go through. So I'm excited to, test it out on the field, and it worked really well in spring training. Hopefully we can carry it over.
But at the end of the day, what is a good team without a good manager? The Rockhounds have a new manager for 2024, and it's a familiar face. Gregorio Petit played for the Rockhounds in 2007. Now Petit is running the show for the Rockhounds once again.
I'm coming home, right? It was fun when I was here back in 2007. And it's going to be fun now in 2024, so I'm looking forward to it.
And before the home season officially gets started, the new manager, Gregorio Petit, has a message for the Midland faithful.
We're here to compete. We're here to put on a show for you every day. We love to see you at the ballpark. It's always fun. With the more people you come, the more fun it gets for us on the field. And it's amazing how the adrenaline can translate to a different way of playing the game.
Be sure to tune in to CBS7 News at 10 for highlights from tonight's home opener with Sports Director Jair Brooks Davis. And still ahead, a view of the eclipse that you may not have seen yet. Plus, hear from the man who experienced it himself up next. All right, take a look at this. We've all seen videos of yesterday's eclipse from the ground, or maybe you looked up and saw it yourself. But what about a total solar eclipse from a plane? Miles Turner is a local pilot who did just that.
It was one of the most amazing things I've done in my life. Like, I don't know if I'll ever top it.
While the rest of us looked up at the sky and viewed yesterday's solar eclipse from the ground, Miles Turner was in the skies checking out a view even more rare than the eclipse itself.
There's one, we had a camera in the cockpit with me, and it looks at me looking up on the world, and you can just see me like laughing and giggling like a little kid.
It was an idea that was just out of this world.
I've seen videos, or I've had videos before of, doing aerobatics and seeing the smoke just kind of hang there. And, I thought, I've never seen anybody, fly upside down during an eclipse. Hey, this could be really cool. This could, not work. Who knows? Gives me an excuse to go fly anyway.
When Miles made it back down to Earth, he looked at the video and realized it needed to be shared.
Oh, this is something special. Like, we need to do something with this. I was just happy to do what I love doing and, find a new way to kind of share it with people and expose more people to, what I love.
Now, I did confirm with Miles that he didn't have to wear these glasses when he was up in the sky, which is good because I can't see anything out of them and they're pretty dark, and he might have missed out on some of those incredible views. Speaking of eclipse glasses, if you looked at the eclipse without proper eye protection, you might be concerned about eye damage. According to the Adler Planetarium, looking at the sun without the right eyewear can cause irreversible damage within a matter of seconds. So if you didn't heed those warnings, here's what you need to know. Symptoms of eye damage may not appear for hours. And the American Academy of Ophthalmology says it could take 12 hours for symptoms to appear. They range from blurry vision to headaches, and you can also experience blind spots, distorted vision, and changes in the way that you see color. If your eyes are feeling strained, experts say it could be temporary, but you still need to visit an eye doctor to learn about the extent of any possible damage. And like we've said, the total solar eclipse is now history. And the celestial event on Monday had many people dazzled. The eclipse also had an impact on animals. CNN's Ed Laverna was in the path of totality at the Dallas Zoo, witnessing how the animals responded to the event.
It was like momentarily walking into the classic comedy Night at the Museum, a glimpse into the secret lives of animals at the Dallas Zoo when humans aren't around to watch. Zebra started chasing him, and then the ostriches got into the mix as well. Just as the zoo slipped into total darkness, a jolt of, animal energy seemed to shoot through the grounds. The moment mesmerized Lisa Van Sleet, a curator of mammals at the Dallas Zoo.
So did the total eclipse day meet your expectations?
It exceeded my expectations today. There was a lot more activity than I expected to see out of the animals.
Just before total darkness, an ostrich laid an egg and hovered over it for a time, protecting it. Zoo officials say it's not clear if the moment was caused by the eclipse, but that the timing was certainly curious, they said. Guinea fowl suddenly crowed wildly.
I hear the birds are starting.
The birds are getting louder.
Yeah.
Just before the moon covered the sun for almost 4 minutes, a young giraffe and its mother galloped around the enclosure. The zebras joined in the chase as well. Here and around the country, elephants grouped together and appeared to head back to the area where they sleep. Flamingos packed together in the middle of a pond in their habitat. Primates apparently also thought it was bedtime. Animal experts say the sudden darkness triggered a natural reaction among many of the animals.
At nighttime, predators go out a lot more, and so they have to kind of huddle together to be safety in numbers and in case something's coming, so they went into that instinct pretty quickly.
At this doggy daycare in the Dallas area, this group of dogs seemed to stop, confused by the sudden darkness. When the sun returned, the dogs started playing around again. Another video captured a cat wanting to come inside its home when darkness struck. At the Toledo Zoo, a polar bear didn't seem to care about all the fuss, nonchalantly dove into the water before the sun disappeared. Texas Parks and Wildlife officials teamed up with NASA to set up these acoustic recording devices to monitor the sounds of animals in the wild. But not all animals were flustered or impressed by the total eclipse. Tobogo the giraffe mostly walked around, unfazed, ready to start chewing on the lettuce the humans feed him when the sun came back.
It's unclear what researchers around the country found as they studied the animal behaviors during the eclipse. And the next total one will be visible across the United States will take place in 2044.
Well, we did see the eclipse here, about 92% coverage, and it darkened the skies across West Texas. We saw a little bit darkening of the sky today. From a different source, clouds and a few thunder showers. We'll talk more about that and show you how that's going to move out of our forecast. Up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Wanted to show you a little bit of video first off. This coming in from Kathleen down in Fort Stockton, showing some pea-sized hail that came down with that little thunder shower that moved across about 6:15. Also had some wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour. You can see some of the breeze there moving the shrubbery around a little bit. But again, just a little pea-sized hail kicking in with that little thunder shower that did move across. It dissipated as it got to the other side of Fort Stockton. We're not seeing too much of anything happening out there. There is a little bit of shower activity across the northeastern corner of Lee County. We might see some sprinkles overnight tonight, maybe a shower across the Permian Basin, but for the most part, though, any thunderstorms are going to stay out of our forecast as this upper level low starting to spin out of the Texas Panhandle, move off to the east. And as that happens, it's going to take a lot of the rain with it. We're going to get on the backside of everything, have this good northerly flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's drier air that's moving in, but also a big ridge of high pressure out to the west. And you know what that means this time of the year? Warmer weather, and it looks like a little more wind coming back to our forecast too, but those rain chances, unfortunately, moving out. Now, right now across the estate, we are seeing that we do have most of the scattered showers, thunderstorms in the piney woods of East Texas. Also in Central Texas, had some reports of up to, well, larger than quarter-size hail just north of Austin and Jollyville a little bit earlier this evening. And back towards West Texas, again, we saw most of the showers, thunderstorms today up to the north across portions of the Texas Panhandle. Again, we had this front roll through, the cool air rolling in And now it looks like this system is going to push off to the east a little bit more. We're going to be left with some clearing conditions. Across the state, look at these temperatures still right now. We're at 89 degrees in Laredo, 79 in Austin. Behind it, though, we're down to 50 across the Permian Basin, mid-40s up towards the Lubbock area. And again, we may see a couple of sprinkles move across overnight tonight, early into the morning hours before things clear out tomorrow afternoon. Looking for improvement in our weather conditions. Cold tonight, though, with those north winds. And again, a sprinkle or two hanging around in our forecast. And then for tomorrow, keeping that north wind around and keeping some nice temperatures around 70, so it'll try to warm up a little bit. And that's really the forecast trend here over the next few days, with more bouts of wind in the forecast, especially coming up on Friday and late in the weekend, early part of next week. So keep that in mind with anything outdoors this weekend. But other than that, looking at, again, much warmer weather on the way.
Still ahead, student debt relief may be coming soon. We're talking about a new initiative from the Biden administration up next. If you or a family member has student loan debt, relief might be coming your way. The Biden administration is trying to erase some of what people owe. The initiative only applies to certain borrowers, and it faces potential hurdles. Amy Kiley reports on what might qualify you for loan forgiveness.
Today, too many Americans, especially young people, are saddled with unsustainable debts in exchange for a college degree.
President Joe Biden has a new strategy to forgive some student loan debt. The White House says it would help more than 30 million borrowers if implemented and combined with plans the administration has enacted already.
Even if they get by, they still have this crushing debt.
The initiative targets federal borrowers who have unpaid interest beyond a certain threshold, 20 or more years in repayment, eligibility for loan programs in which they're not enrolled, education from a so-called low financial value program, and certain hardships like medical debt.
Most people should not have to carry this kind of worry.
The new plans are more selective than Biden's previous initiative, which was for most middle and low-income federal borrowers. The Supreme Court says action that broad needs to involve Congress, and many Republicans say taxpayers who didn't go to college shouldn't fund degrees for those who did.
Across the board, student loan forgiveness is regressive.
The new plans aren't ready for sign-ups yet. It could take months to finalize them, and they'll likely face legal challenges.
Democrats will continue exploring every option under the sun to lower costs and make college more affordable.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Still ahead, if you're like me, suddenly you have all these solar eclipse glasses that you don't know what to do with. We talk about how to recycle them up next. All right, Tom, the eclipse is over. So now what do we do with all these eclipse glasses?
Save them till 2044.
Well, that's a good idea, but there's also a number of organizations that recycle or reuse them. Astronomers Without Borders is one of them, and they've been accepting donations of eclipse glasses for 15 years. They partner with organizations where you can drop off or mail your used glasses, including retailers like Warby Parker. You can also send them to Eclipse Glasses USA, which repurposes used glasses for future celestial events. And like you said, we can always just save them for the next one.
Yeah, there's bound to be another eclipse coming up here in the next couple of years. I think they happen every 2-3 years somewhere on the face of the planet. So
we can reuse them.
Yes.
Mine say 2023 though. Mine are from the last eclipse.
Well, those expired.
Well, I hope that I
didn't look at
use them
anything with them.
I think I may need to make an eye doctor appointment.
Anyway, though, take a look at that weather forecast. No eclipses in our forecast. Just some milder weather on the way, more wind in our forecast, but unfortunately rain chances are moving out, so it's going to be looking pretty good for everything you want to do this weekend. Just watch out for that wind. It's going to be up there a little bit.
So what I can do is just go return my eclipse glasses tomorrow.
You think you're cool.
I do. I feel really cool. I can't see anything though. Thanks for watching CBS7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.